You are now listening to the J Porks Experience. Listen free on iTunes or at theandydareshow.com. Now, here's Jay.
Yo, what is the word, people? Welcome to the big show, the year-end show, back in the poorhouse for another action-packed edition of the J Porks Experience. I'm Jay Porks. With me, as always, on the other side of the glass, making sure this is a well-oiled podcast machine every week. The ever-popular Nobody. Okay, we got the year-end spectacular. That's what this is right now. This is the holiday special. This is the birthday show. This is all of that. And I am so glad that I get to host a podcast that's always going to fall on my birthday. Next year it's on a Wednesday, so I'm going to do this again. But today what we're going to do is long form, long as I can go, we are going to go over my favorite things that happened this year. I've got Webster's Dictionary's top 10 words for no reason. I've got a list of some tracks that intrigued me this year. See, if I say best tracks of 2014, you can critique that. But if I say 10 intriguing tracks of 2014, well, they're just intriguing. Aha, I found a loophole. I found a hole in your little best of lists thing there. Words like interesting and intriguing. But I do want to touch on something real fast. I was going back listening to the first podcast of this year just to see like where I was. Gotta tell you, I'm not as far as I wanted to be, but I had 5 albums I didn't want to hear anything about in 2014, and I gotta tell you, I didn't hear anything about them. Mentioning them now would be me hearing about them, so I'm not gonna mention them, but I'm just so glad that I wanted something to happen, and it happened. Okay, 2014. It's been a wild ride. We've had some fun. We have. I remember the beginning of the year. I was struggling. 2 jobs. I was trying to get to Colorado for the meat puppets. I did that. I got there, but not only after my tax return for over $1,000 was, what'd they say? Intercepted. That's what they said. By whatever bank took my school, whatever bank has eaten up my school loan and that I owe them money for, they took my tax return, the last tax return I'm ever going to get, and they told me, hey, sorry. So after that crushing blow, after losing the job I had for 5 years, 5 years, after getting a new job, all of that stuff was worked out in the first 4 months of this year. The first 4 months of this year was just a struggle. It was a struggle and a party. Because at the same time as struggling, trying to save up all this money to get to Colorado, trying to get to see some shows, trying to piece together my life. While that was happening, I successfully applied for unemployment. And that's a great thing. I think it was midway through January I did that. And that was a great thing because I was able to get $201 a week for 6 months, totaling $5,000 for doing absolutely nothing. $5,026 to be in fact. By doing absolutely nothing. By just looking for work. So that was good. It was good to take advantage of the system for once and not be on the side where I should put some lipstick on because I want to look pretty when I'm getting fucked. A line I use all the time. It was good. I liked it. And then finally in April, the first week of April, I made it out to the state of Colorado, at the time, one of the only two states to have legal recreational marijuana. The only state that had stores open at the time, because Washington just opened up stores. And Washington, I hear, is a huge clusterfuck for recreational marijuana. So we went out to Denver, flew into the airport. My buddy Linda picked me up, Linda Kite, with Matt and Ellen. Stayed at Ellen's house in Indian Hills. It was good times. It was good times. I was up in the mountains. And then the next day, the day after landing, it was game day. You know me with game day. It always goes crazy on game day. But before hitting the show, we went to a store called The Hire Supplier that was in the business of selling plants. And I mean, that just changed my life. Like, if you talk to any of my friends, you know what, don't even, my New Year's crew. If you talk to like Pam and that crew, all I talk about is weight loss. Because I mean, if I'm not hanging out with a bunch of drug addicts, I have nothing to talk about. It's not my fault. I'm very interested in mind-altering substances, and that's all I want to talk about. That and boobs and. But forget losing weight. You have no idea. Since April, the only thing I want to talk about is Colorado. When I was in Colorado, I start half my sentences with, like, that time when I was in Colorado. When it sounds like, I returned from some fucking voyage from another country because it was so damn glorious. And I got to buy the OG Death Star. I got to walk into a store and purchase plants. Here in New York, it was a big victory to make having marijuana on you, if you have less than an ounce on you, you get a $100 fine. That was like a big victory. Everyone's like, oh my God, finally, I can carry around my weed. Well, technically, you can't carry around your weed. It's a $100 fine. Just because they won't bring you to prison anymore, that doesn't make me feel any better about it. Not after I've been to a place where I bought it in a store. And Colorado was so crazy. I was at the merch table at the Meat Puppets. I told this story, but you're not going back to the April podcast, so I'm going to do it now. I'm at the merch table, and some guy comes up to me, some kid, I think he's a little younger than me. And he says, yo, man. He goes, and he pulls out this, this container, like the medicine container that the weed comes in, that I got it from the store. He's like, yo, check this out. He pulls out this big bud. And he's like, yeah, man, I grow this myself. He's like, here, you can have that. I'm like, I know, Dad. He's like, yo, just let me know if you need. Just text me. I'm like, all right. Guy walks away. A, I don't live here. B, you didn't give me any contact information to get you. That's how it is in Colorado. It's not like here where every dime is a struggle. This kid gave me like 2 grams worth of pot with the intention on selling to me in the future, and he didn't even worry about giving me his number because it doesn't matter that much to him. It's a plant. I got to walk around with that in my pocket. My only regret was not saving some for I was waiting 12 hours for my flight on Friday, my flight back, and I ended up taking a nap at a hotel. I wish I would have held on to some pot for that. But it was glorious. And my only goal in life is to get back there as many times as I could. And like every day, not every day, but at least once a week, when I'm searching for jobs on Craigslist. Not jobs to replace my current job. I like my current job. It's 3 days a week and it's at night. So I need something during the day. I'm gonna hold on to this job, especially Tuesday because pasta night. I kill it. Especially on days that are my birthday. And you know what? It hasn't rained here for 5 days, and it's gonna rain today. I got news for you. If this weather fucks up my night, there's gonna be some real problems. I'm gonna have some real issues. If this rain has if it has any deterrence on my tables. But yeah. I mean the only goal. So like when I'm looking for jobs, I always check out Denver just in case. I would work see like whereas in New York City, since I've gotten a taste of the waiter life, see that's the if you haven't been one if you haven't been a server, if you haven't worked or a bartender or somebody who works off tips, then you don't know what that's like. And I'm not saying that as if it's some great thing. Oh, you don't know what it's like. No, it's bad. It could be good, it could be bad. You can make zero, you can make way more than you deserve. So like here, I've worked shit jobs since I was 15 years old. I've always had a crappy job. So now in my later years, I'm going to try to be a waiter, try to use my personality to gain some extra money because I don't want to work more hours. That's basically it. I don't want to work long hours. I want to work short hours and I will make it up with laughter. But if I lived in Denver, I'd work at Starbucks 40 hours a week. I don't care. I'd work at McDonald's. I'd work at McDonald's. I'd make $200 a week. And I would use that money to buy pot and put it on a room or something. The city of Boulder is amazing. Like from the University of Colorado down to the Fox Theater in Boulder, stunning, majestic. They got Red Rocks. Here's what Colorado has to offer. They have four major sports franchises. They the four major sports franchises, including Peyton Manning. They have they have Denver. Denver's a major city. It's not like you're in the woods. It's not like you're in the mountains. It's not like you have to be in the mountains. Well, everything's in the mountains. Everything's higher up. But Denver's a regular city. They've got a little bit of public transportation. I wouldn't trust it out in the sticks, but they've got a little bit of public transportation, and they've got plants in stores that get you high. And in turn, that you don't get arrested for that. I'll go to a place where people appreciate my accent. Get the hell out of here. Like since I came back, I am so disgusted with everything about the place where I live. Everything. It's disgusting. I have this customer that says, well, this is another best of the year thing. Still going in the best of the year theme. One of my tables this year, the lady who said my son writes for High Times, have you ever heard of it? And my response, of course, was, no, I'm too busy reading Heroin Weekly and Cocaine Inquiry. What am I supposed to say if I'm working off tips? Yeah, I read High Times. First of all, I technically don't read High Times. I just follow them on Twitter, and if they have an interesting headline, I read it. So when that lady says to me that her son works for High Times and he spends most of the week going from California to Colorado, back and forth and back and forth, I just envy that. I'm going back and forth from Annandale to Dungan Hills to wait tables. Most of the people I serve look at me like I'm crazy that I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, people want to know what my day job is. I'm sick of answering that question. Here's what I do during the day. I look for better jobs at night. I look for better jobs at night. Well, not better jobs at night. I look for better jobs during the day. So the year beginning in Colorado, concert wise, April 1st and April 2nd, Meat Puppets and Moist Boys. It was just epic. Tons of small venues. They've got a big venue. They've got weed stores. They've got four major sports franchises. Why do I not live there yet? I make $3 an hour. Like if I had $1,000, I would move out there. But I have 4 cents in my bank account. People, everybody, you all. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not. Everybody's in trouble. These tough economic times and all that stuff. But do you have 4 cents in your bank account? Because I have 4 pennies in my bank account. Don't talk to me about hard times. People are talking about living paycheck to paycheck. I'm living shift to shift, table to table. Upon returning back to the lovely city of New York, I got back in the concert game on April 21st. And I got to see Local H at the Mercury Lounge. Local H plays the Mercury Lounge every time they come to New York. And I like the Mercury Lounge because they don't have much security and they don't care about my camera. Unfortunately, Scott Lucas feels differently. And seeing me when I was about to take a picture, he asked me to not do that. We look good in these lights, Scott says. You know what? You know what? I have an idea. Why don't you enjoy the show? And everybody like cheered. Meanwhile, my flash is off. I'm not using the flash, dude. Somebody else. Sorry. But whatever. That kind of made me. That was kind of a punch. You know, like when a boxer is getting into that late round and they have it, they could, sometimes they get that second wind and they throw a couple of punches that you didn't see coming. Like if I was gonna catch that second wind, Scott Lucas knocked an uppercut into me. He really took the spice off my shelf. He really did. I mean, and I'm excited. Local H has a new album out, and I'm excited to hear this. But every time I listen to their music, I just think about this guy telling me to enjoy the show. I wanted to cry. It was crazy. And then May 30th. Well, pause. I noticed Foxy Shazam was going to come to the Bowery Ballroom, so what I did was I sent over an email to Foxy Shazam. I don't know if it was their PR guy, their press guy. I'm not sure who it was. I found an email to send on to talk to on their website. I sent them an email and I said, "Listen, I'm Jay Porks. I do this, this, and this. You should let me in." And I was told yes, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me that people took me seriously. I can understand if I had Justin write an email, Justin from Concert Confessions. If I had him, if I said, "Buddy, could you do me a favor? Could you write out an email and request something?" And he did it all professionally and shit. I did not use one word with more than 7 letters in it. Not at all. And I saw Foxy Shazam at the Bowery Ballroom in 2012. It was like one of the top shows I saw that year. This was one of the top. This topped that. Like if I didn't see the Meat Puppets this year, Foxy Shazam might be my number one show of the year. It was just great. I got the whole set on tape, but besides that, it really. I don't want to sound like a lazy fuck here, but like not a lazy fuck. I'm very particular, and nobody got in my way. Like everybody around me was well behaved. I got the seat I wanted at a table I wanted. It didn't end at 2:30 in the morning. I didn't end up getting home at 5. I actually remember going to sleep very early. And I got some awesome pictures slash screenshots. And Fox Shazam broke up. Well, they went on hiatus earlier this year, about 2 months ago. Actually, the podcast. Well, it's in the podcast. Is it? I don't think it's in the title. But yeah, man. Fox Shazam has this new album. Their new album, Gonzo, was recorded by Steve Albini, and upon first listen, it wasn't. It didn't really, didn't really rock my socks off. But then hearing it done live was a different story, and it really, really opened it up to me. And it's really amazing. And now when I listen to the album, instead of hearing it for what it is on the album, I every time I hear the album, I'm right back at that seat overlooking the balcony, second floor, Bowery Ballroom. Bowery Ballroom's a great fucking venue. I love going to the Bowery Ballroom. Love it, love it, love it. I got Eric Nally eating cigarettes. It's amazing. And I'm really happy. I'm really excited about these pictures. Again, you guys are gonna have the links to all of this on at jporks.com tonight. So don't worry about it. I got some comments here. Incredible show last night. I read that the band was gonna play the Gonzo album straight through and in order first, then come back in a classic Foxy set. That seemed the right way to do it, since the new album is a bit of a departure from the older stuff. Thanks for making and sharing such quality photos and videos. I wish these guys all the best, because they give it all for their audience. Thanks, Paul. Rachel says, this show was my first time seeing Foxy, and I was blown away. Being in the front row and giving Eric my lighter for the cigarettes and all. It was possibly one of the most high-energy concerts I ever seen. That's how I felt the first time I saw them. First time I saw them, I walked out and they're like, you fucking... Well, the first time I saw them, they opened for The Darkness. But after they opened for The Darkness, they walked off stage and said, holy, what the fuck was that? That was crazy. My buddy Mellow Rocker, fellow Concert Confessions alumnus. He was there too. I was there too. Awesome show by the Foxies. Got to meet Alex and Lauren. Got them sign my ticket. Great work, Jay. Shady Shale. Hey, dude, thanks for letting me and my buddy sit with you. Was a killer set. But can you answer me this? Why do Lauren and Daisy switch guitar bass duties for the new album? Odd. Good write-up and great videos. That is odd. And in paying attention to the videos, I kind of noticed that. I was like, hey, I saw the bass player more last time. I have no idea why they did that. Foxy being Foxy, Albini being Albini. That's what that is. All right. Continuing on. And I got to be honest with you. I told somebody I was going to go over the shows I've seen this year and, my highlights. And somebody said, why do people care? Dude, how many episodes of this thing do I have to do before people start to realize that this is for me and not for you? I mean, as much as I like making people laugh and as much as I like girls from other states enjoying my accent, this is really therapy for me. I have nobody to talk to. Nobody. Like when I say stuff like I'm sick of Dave Grohl and stuff, it's not like I don't go around saying that all day. I can't say that at work because nobody knows who Dave Grohl is. And I know what you're thinking. Jay, that's impossible. Come on, he's pop culture. Just trust me. These people know Diplo and Major Lazer. They don't know who Dave Grohl is. They might know Arcade Fire because one of their songs accidentally slipped on an EDM playlist they were making. I live around and work with people who say, I like rock music like Coldplay. By the way, Coldplay announcing that their next album is their final is probably the best thing Coldplay has ever done. That's the best thing they've ever done. Is announce that they're not going to make any more albums. I'm glad that happened. Speaking of free shows, when Summerland came around to Irving Plaza, with Everclear, Soul Asylum, Eve 6, and Space Hog, an email found its way to my inbox. And it was Summerland Press asking, Summerland PR, asking if I would like a reviewer's ticket. Heck yeah, I would. I don't even have to grovel for this. This is awesome. So I got into Summerland, Irving Plaza. Irving Plaza, known famously for the venue that you lined up outside to get Foo Fighters tickets and didn't get in the other night. I got to see myself. I got to see Everclear, Soul Asylum, Eve 6, and Space Hog at Irving Plaza. After a year of taking off Summerland, I got to see it again. I saw it in the inaugural year, and I saw it this year. Good times. I enjoyed the other bit. I enjoyed Space Hog and Eve 6 a lot more than I thought I would. And shoutouts to Eve 6 because I just started watching the X-Files from season 1 to because I needed to binge watch a show with volume. Because my main problem is the shows that are on now, the shows that are on like that are making new episodes, I find myself waiting a week for a new episode to happen and then getting so mad when the episode's over and I'm like, "Damn, why didn't I just wait? Why didn't I wait to watch like 17 episodes in a row?" So, X-Files has 8 seasons, 2 movies, and it's like 24 episodes a season. Heck yeah, I'm in. So anyway, I'm watching it, and episode 7 or 8 or something, they go into prison to see somebody who's named Eve 6. And I was like, oh shit, that's where they got the name of the band from. Sure enough, I went to Wikipedia, and they did. Good times. I got an awesome Max Collins pick. I almost got hit in the face by the bass player of Space Hog. True story. Because I was in the front in the pit, and I wasn't looking. I was just moving back and forth, and I saw this thing. I felt the wind. I felt the wind of this thing fly past my face. It was scary and amazing. And I gotta tell you, I really started to find my groove here. First, I got some awesome pictures. I learned how to take pictures. Oh, I told you guys the big secret of taking good pictures. Here's how you take good pictures. You get close. You get close and you tell the venue to light the stage. That's how you get good pictures. There's no tricks about it. There's no tricks of the trade. There's no secret thing. There's nothing secretive about it. You just get close and the lights are on. You can be the greatest photographer in the world. You can be Mick Rock. If I put Mick Rock at the Mercury Lounge with Local H and he wasn't allowed to use his flash, trust me, his pictures would suck too. I promise you that. I'll give you guys a second to Google Mick Rock. Don't worry. You know, I once mentioned Mick Rock to a photographer friend of mine and didn't know who he was. Didn't know who he was. You're a photographer, dude. You are a photographer. You should know who Mick Rock is. So Summerland was fun. Then I got out to the Stone Pony Summer Stage for Offspring and Bad Religion. Great show, high energy. I was just very upset that the Stone Pony Summer Stage has bleachers in the middle of it blocking everyone's view. That's mad annoying to me. And Stone Pony Summer Stage just turned me off in general. I didn't want to be there before that. But the thing is, I have to get to shows that are easy for me to get to. Like, I couldn't get to Stone Pony Summer Stage by myself, but luckily I know Pam is a huge Offspring fan. I love the Offspring. I love Bad Religion. Pam loves Bad Religion. So I figured, okay, I'll text Pam, and I'll see if she wants to go, and if she wants to go, I'm in. And that's how it went. Next time, grabbing like 10 of us, you're invited if you're listening, and we're grabbing a room at that skeezy hotel, and we're watching it from the balcony. Fuck that. Fuck getting beat up in the pit. Meanwhile, my phone screen has a crack on it that I don't know where it came from. I bet it came from that. I bet it came from moshing around. And at the end of September, Kasabian returned to New York City. And Kasabian, like I said about Fox and Shazam, Kasabian also put out an album this year that, upon first listen, I thought, it's alright. Kasabian, it was a little techno-y. And you know I don't like techno-y. But, it was awesome. Hearing the songs live, the new tracks live, much higher energy. Kasabian, they're so happy to be, like, in front of Americans. I don't get why they don't make it in America. I don't understand. First of all, they sell out Terminal 5. So, I don't get it. I think Kasabian should come back to America. Now, this is the J-Porks Please Happen in 2015. This is just me hoping, based on past events, that this happens, okay? A couple of weeks ago, Noel Gallagher put out a new single. If he tours America, he should take Kasabian on tour with him. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I know Noel is the type of guy to have a band who he wants to show shine open for him. I know he is. And I believe he's a fan of Kasabian. I think he took their guitar player, didn't he? Or no, I think the old guitar player from Kasabian joined BDI, and BDI is no longer together. Whatever. If you really want to force this band on America, you show them to all the kids who are showing up to hear Oasis songs. Trust me, that's the way to do it. And to end the concert year, we had the Meat Puppets and Cass McCombs at Rough Trade Records, just to circle the wagons better than the Buffalo Bills do. Great venue, record store. I loved it. Great set. It was Halloween. I got to go through the city on Halloween. And again, got home fairly early. I started finding the express bus. After Summerland, I started finding the bus that takes me from Manhattan to about 6 blocks from my house. Which works for me. Works perfect for me. I love that. So there it is, folks. How many did I go to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Elite 8. 8 shows I saw this year. It's crazy. I used to go to 20 plus shows. I went to 20 shows 2 years in a row. 8. And it's not like I'm making less money. I am making a little less money, but I can still afford to go to shows. It's just that the combination of no bands I die for are really touring. And are they going to come to town at a venue that I don't mind spending money to go into on a night I don't mind missing work? A lot of things going on. So as I get older, another year I age. And going to shows gets a little harder. But we're going to try to make up for that in 2015. We're looking at some things. We're looking at some things and some stuff that we're going to get to. And, you know what? It was a long first half. We'll get to my favorite things that happened in 2014 when we come back after this.
Hey everybody, this is Andy from the Andy Dare Show. I just want to thank you for checking out the J Porks Experience and all the fine broadcasting we offer here at Dare Network. Follow Jay at JPorks on Twitter. Check him out on the internet, jporks.com, and at Instagram, jporks. And if you want to check out my little podcast network, check out andydare.com and follow us on Twitter at Dare Network. That's DERER Network. Thanks again for listening. And back to the show.
And we are back. Okay. You guys have been listening to me all year. Thank you. Thanks for that. Makes me, makes Andy, makes Tyler very proud. We got a little happening podcast network here. And I'm glad. And I appreciate you. And in 2015, I'm going to try to open this up to you. We're going to have, on Sundays, I'll start opening up the Skype, start talking to some people. You want to come on the show? You get in touch with me. If you want to spread your brand, you get in touch with me. And I'll make sure that happens. I have social anxiety disorder, so I'm not going to ask you. You have to mention it to me. Bring it up to me, and I'll help you out. Okay, before I get into the normal music stuff, 2015 was huge. I mentioned Colorado. 2014, I'm sorry. Burp, burp, burp. Sorry. 2014 was huge. I talked about Colorado. But I mean, this year is full. I talked about Colorado. I talked about unemployment. Those are two of my favorite things that happened this year. Remember when Nirvana got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Remember when Courtney Love and Dave Grohl hugged? Remember when the Foo Fighters released their album? Oh, God. No, but really. Do you remember that night Nirvana got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? That was awesome. Do you remember? That was the first time Lorde made the podcast. And it was Get Lorde Out of My Rock and Roll. And then Local H covered Lorde's team. And I liked it. And I had mixed feelings. And I didn't know what to do about it. Social inquiries. The fappening happened this year. We got to see Kate Upton's boobs. We got to see some nice pictures of Kaylee Kuko from The Big Bang Theory. By the way, grow your hair back. Should I not watch the first episode of this season? Was it this season or was it last season? Whatever season starts with Penny with the short hair, Sheldon walks in and he says, your hair's short. I can't handle this. I'm coming back when it grows back. That's how I feel. I'm looking at her hair like, what? You just took a hot girl who I was watching this show for and you made her look like one of these dudes. Why? Why'd you do that? Damn. But at least The Big Bang Theory isn't full of plot holes like fucking Two Broke Girls. Oh, man. There is not... I've never heard... Television is getting so much worse. There are a few things... I talk about TV a lot. Mostly cartoons. But when I watch a show... It's not that I don't have high standards for TV. But if you're going to base your show in quote-unquote New York, you better be accurate about your New Yorkness. Two Broke Girls. This is about two girls who don't have money move to Williamsburg. Williamsburg isn't where poor people live. Williamsburg has $1 million lofts. Williamsburg is where Rough Trade Records is. Williamsburg isn't some rundown neighborhood that you move to if you don't have any money. You can't afford to live there. Furthermore, hot girls who have no money don't become waitresses at diners because you can't make any money there. They get jobs doing other things, or they go out with dudes who own diners, or If you're attractive, you put an ad on Craigslist and you sell yourself. Seriously. I'm not kidding. All right, maybe you don't sell yourself, but maybe you find a guy who's willing to pay you to go out to dinner with him. Maybe you have sex with somebody for money. Maybe. So many other things to do than become a waitress in Williamsburg. You can't be broke in your 20s and not live with your parents. Like, listen, you could be broke in your 20s and have an apartment. If you have your own apartment, you ain't that broke. You are not that broke if you have your own apartment. I'd kill for my own apartment. I'm still living at the poorhouse. They get their own place. Yeah, I'd love that. Try that in middle America. They didn't Williamsburg. Williamsburg, if you're going to go Brooklyn, Williamsburg is not the part of Brooklyn you want to use. I don't even know. I don't know what part you would use because the parts that are poor are the parts that are dangerous. So the whole show is flawed. The whole show is flawed. And I mean, I don't. Oh my god. I got so mad when I saw that. I figured it couldn't be that bad. It was disgusting, man. Really pissing. This is the stuff people are watching. And you know what it is? It's this whole Chuck Lorre. It's Chuck Lorre will put. You can. If Chuck Lorre wrote it, it's going on the air. No matter if it's Two Broke Girls or Mike and Molly. The guy got lucky with like 3 TV shows. And now he runs CBS. Every show on CBS is Chuck Lorre produced. I'm sorry. Mike and Molly. Here's the thing about Mike and Molly. It wouldn't be a funny show if they were skinny. But but it's funny because they're overweight. But then again, why are we making fun of people who are overweight? It's 2014. Shouldn't we have some standards? Shouldn't we write some jokes? They don't even write jokes. It's just 2 fat people. And let's see what happens. It makes no sense. It's not funny. Throughout the course of my day, I come up with 10 TV show ideas a day. I can do one about a podcast, or I can do one about a waiter, I can do one about a chef, I can do one about a blogger, I can do one about some guy who is on 19 different dating websites. I can do many, many, many different TV shows, and they will all be geographically accurate. I'm telling you. If you can write screenplays, get at me, because we have work to do. Also, in 2014, John Oliver premiered. And John Oliver, not only the best, but the only news show that I watch. There was never an episode of John Oliver that I said that I didn't clap at the end of it. It was appointment television. Even though, we all have DVR nowadays, even though I say I don't do appointment television, that is the only show that I made sure I was in my room to watch every Sunday at 11. The best show. The best new show. So real. The takes that John Oliver has on everything is so needed in this society. Like he covers knowledge with humor. So it's hard for anyone to tell. Like you don't know that you're learning, but at the end, you're learning. At the end of the episode, you've learned something by accident. Simpsons and Family Guy crossed over. See, as much as I hate TV, I got excited with when we had the Simpsons marathon. We had every Simpsons ever on FXX, excuse me. They showed every episode of The Simpsons in a row. It was, I think, 11 days. It's amazing. And so The Simpsons and Family Guy had an hour-long crossover episode that was hyped up a lot. And, people who don't like Family Guy didn't like it. To me, I was happy that everybody made it alive. I mean, that's really all I look for in a special or an hour-long episode or some sort of crossover is just ruin don't ruin the show. And they didn't ruin the show. Maybe it wasn't the was it the best hour in the history of television? No, not at all. It was funny. I like dumb things. I like dumb things except for the plot of Two Broke Girls and Mike and Molly. Why do I even still have CBS? Here's what CBS shows. Two Broke Girls, Mike and Molly, Jets football. I don't need this channel. I don't need this channel. But of course, there was one thing that happened this year that really made it happen. It made 2014 what it is. It defined 2014. I'm going to play something. Before I play it, I want to say that this is for promotional use only. I also want to say that if anybody wants to send cease and desist letters to Andy, just know that he has no knowledge that I was going to play this on the podcast. He's just finding out as he listens for the first time. He's just discovering this now. So if anyone needs to get sued, it'll be me. But I think this is fine. Fair use only. I think I'm allowed to play this. So take a listen to the greatest moment of 2014.
Feeling good on a Wednesday. The image of me that you see is distorted, twisted, broken, fractured, isolated, miles out to sea. I don't want a separate place. I need to feel safe, not thrown away, away, away. And I will push, tear down the walls. There's spots you will put me in. You don't know push on, push on.
Yeah, I am Lord. You can't say that that's not the best thing to happen. And I know that I'm obsessed with cartoons, but the whole season of South Park revolving around Randy Marsh being Lord was just the bee's knees of it all. And it tops it with the song I Am Lord, yeah. Feeling good on a Wednesday, help me unload the car, all that. I sing that every day. I walk around saying I am Lord, yeah, all the time. Man. And that's the circle. That's the circle Lord has gone in. Like, it's gone from get Lord away from Nirvana and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to, wow, Local H, this song is pretty good, this team cover. Oh, it's a Lord song? To Lord is on South Park and she's Randy Marsh. And then you hear this. This isn't by Lord, it's by Saya, it says. And then Lord tweeting about it, saying that she was on a South Park episode. She thinks that's funny, she guesses. It was funny. And you taking it in stride was good. And it makes me like you a little more. I'm not saying I'm going to like your music, but I will like your music if rock bands keep covering your music. Local H does that. Local H does that with they did that with Britney Spears, Toxic. I was talking about this with Andy, how Local H covers songs the best. They can take the girl, like Local H released the first single, not the first single. They released a track off Local H's Awesome Mixtape Part 2. It's a Daft Punk song called Da Funk. I bet I like it. I've never heard the Daft Punk version, but I bet I'm going to like the Local H version because it's probably going to be awesome. Haven't listened to it yet. I'm feeling good on a Wednesday with sparkling thoughts. See, here's the thing. The episode, Cartman claims to be transgender. Even though he doesn't actually say transgender, he says transginger. So he wants to use the girls' bathroom. And at the same time, Randy explains to Stan that he's been doing that at work. That he likes using the girls' bathroom, and then he would just sing these songs. And with a little Pro Tools, he is Lord Ya Ya Ya. I am Lord Ya Ya Ya. Ya Ya Ya. I am Lord. It's really great. They sold that on Record Store Day. Okay. You want to talk regular things? You want to talk current music? Okay. Let me give you the list of websites you need to go to help keep me in business. We've got ConcertConfessions.com for all your live music news and reviews for the fans, by the fans, Opeth at the Hollywood Palladium on the 9th. Check it out at ConcertConfessions.com, along with Motley Crue and Alice Cooper at the Spokane Arena, Elektra at the House of Blues, Arch Enemy and Creator at the House of Blues. And Powerman 5000 with American Head Charge in Fort Wayne, Indiana. All that and more happening at ConcertConfessions.com, where you get all your live music news and reviews for the fans, by the fans. Nobody else but fans of music. Right at ConcertConfessions.com. And when you're there, you click the Amazon ads because you're going to buy stuff anyway. Buy me some birthday stuff. If you've been listening to this at all, if you've been listening to the podcast at all over the past year, you can name about 5 things I need. I'll be waiting. Also, make sure you keep it locked to theandydeershow.com. At theandydeershow.com, you get the flagship show, The Andy Deer Show. You get the Tyler Cale Show, which is just happening all the time. I mean, from the West Coast to Best Coast. Or you get me from the Least Coast to East Coast, the sultry caramel tones of the J. Parks experience. And on Sundays, you can get the Time Warp on 89xradio.com from 8 to noon. It's Throwback Alternative, hosted by my buddy, Christina Rocks. And on her website, ChristinaRocks.com, hang the DJ, she's got video for Bob Old ripping through a 7-song Weekender set in Germany. And Ministry on Earth's a rare 1983 track, and you can download Morning Birds Exile. All that and more at ChristinaRocks.com. Hang the DJ, 89xradio.com. And the headlines every week, of course, are powered by Annie Quiet. Modest Mouse. Strangers to Ourselves is the new record. It's coming out in March. It's their first new music in 8 years. I know you're excited. I'm excited. I got to see Modest Mouse at Orion Music and More in 2012. So I would love for an opportunity to see them perform a full set to themselves somewhere not named Queens. Do you care that D'Angelo has a new song, or do girls not care since he's wearing clothes? I don't know. I'm asking you. I don't like D'Angelo, his music, his looks, anything. I don't like him, so I'll listen to your take on that because I really don't care. You could also hear Marilyn Manson's vicious new single "Deep Six" and the track list for "The Pale Emperor," due out on January 20th. And were you looking for an L7 documentary or reunion concert? Their future is in your hands. What does this mean? I'm going to open this up and find out. It's been almost 15 years since L7 played together on the same stage, but with reunions from Babes in Toyland and Sleater Kinney popping up, the band might just be into the idea of reviving their original lineup. L7 took to their Facebook page to announce that the four-piece has been listening to fans as they beg for something new. Whether that something turns out to be a documentary on the group's history or even a revival tour, the band needs some hype first. The music can be fickle. The music world can be fickle. And nothing generally happens without a little pressure from the people or a lot of money. And at this point, we don't see any Kickstarter links. So promotion is as simple as it gets right now. Basically, L7 wants you to get the word out. They had this to say last week. But here's the situation. They say to raise a child, it takes a village. Well, to get interest from promoters for L7 to do reunion shows, it's going to take an army. An army of you, no joke. Here's what we need. We need your continued enthusiasm. Spread the word by sharing our posts and getting your friends and enemies to like our page. First and foremost, we need your email addresses at our new website. We need to reach all of you directly. No spam, no problem. Let's show them all your love and support will make this happen. For those about to rock, we salute you. So if you still have love for the original L7, it looks like it up to fans to get any wheels in motion for future projects. That's great, by the way. Oh, I just realized I wrote that Babes in Toyland reunion. Yes. That makes me excited. But, that's cool, no? Are you down? Are you down to pretend that we're dead? I love L7. When you pretend that we're dead. They've got other songs too. Nirvana used to have them open. L7 used to open for Nirvana all the time. Well, I don't know if it was all the time or if it was on one tour or if it was at one gig. Then I can't think of the concert it was. It was for some disease. Or it was for women. It was like, you know what? I'm gonna look it up. I'm just gonna do a quick. I got it. It was. Oh, come on. The Rockford Choice. And it was at San Francisco's Cow Palace to raise awareness of and generate aid for rape survivors in Bosnia. Bang. There you go. So there's that. So if you want an L7 reunion, you have to make it happen. So go to their Facebook page and like their stuff. And share it and give them your email. Because why not? That'd be a fun show. I gotta tell you something. Billy Corgan is a man after my heart. That's what he is. Billy Corgan likes to complain a lot. And in the past, I've been on the other side. I've been like, Billy, if you want some money, just go tour. Well, that's what he's doing. He's touring with the Smashing Pumpkins. They've got a new album out, Monuments of an Elegy. I've heard a handful of tracks off it. It's pretty good. What I heard is pretty good. But Billy Corgan is doing the Dave Grohl rounds where he goes on Howard Stern and he goes everywhere and he gets quoted and he says outlandish things. They asked him, he was on Howard Stern and he said that him and Kurt Cobain were the I said this I said this last week. They were the best scribes of the 90s. Scribes. I said Mr. Intellectual. But when asked if Pearl Jam ranks up there, according to Corgan, Pearl Jam, quote, didn't come close. If you listen to the band's work, and I know they have a tremendous fan base, I just don't think Pearl Jam have the songs. Awesome. They don't have the songs. They just have a bunch of people who like them. Thank you, Billy. Like, with each line, I like this guy even more and more. And then he explained that he wrote the band's hit single 1979 in 20 minutes. Later addressing the Foo Fighters, Corgan was quick to claim that Dave Grohl had barely evolved as an artist. Dave is a great musician, a great songwriter, and has done the work. But to me, my criticism of the Foo Fighters, if I'm being a music critic, is that they just haven't evolved and are making the same music. Bang. Stern also quizzed Corgan about ex-girlfriend Courtney Love. In response, Corgan stated, back in the day, she was smoking hot. Their sex life was mythical, and that she was the, quote, least loyal person I've ever known in my life. In addressing the fallout of the interview, Corgan posted on Twitter that he was simply answering honestly. If Howard Stern asked me a question, I answered it honestly out of respect to him because he's a music fan first, and he's always encouraged me. No stranger to controversy, Corgan drummed up criticism in 2012 when he said he would piss on fucking Radiohead and made transphobic threats over Twitter in 2011. Good times. Thanks, Billy. Now I want to go see his band. Shit. So glad somebody said it. I'm glad Billy Corgan's here to say things. He also had, first of all, between this and selling T-shirts that say fuck Anderson Cooper, I'm down. He's also, oh my god, the in this headline, the URL contains the words Corgan, Alex Jones, Ferguson, and Illuminati. In case you were wondering how bad this is going to go, Radio.com has a story where Billy Corgan stopped by to talk with Alex Jones, and he said, many artists, wait, no. He says there is conspiracy against him. Many artists are, oh my god. Awake. That's what it is. Over the course of the chat, which kept promising to talk about the new Smashing Pumpkins album, barely squeezed it in at all at the end. Corgan traded stories and opinions with Jones, who all the while referred to themselves as awake. Apparently, he's not the only one either, as Corgan noted Tommy Lee was also awake, meaning they're aware of the goings-on behind the scenes that some might consider conspiracy theories and other things generally going against the norm. Many artists are because they have been behind the wizard's curtain. The pair discussed the Anderson Cooper controversy in depth, in which Corgan was derided by the CNN host after he posed with pets on the cover of Pause Chicago, with Corgan alluding to a much bigger media conspiracy. When you're looking at the local media, Corgan said, and this is looking like propaganda, you know that these people are not conscious. They are put there because they are bootlickers. When asked if he's worried that the CIA would target him, just like they reportedly targeted John Lennon, Corgan responded that instead, now they digitally assassinate you. To a point he later would refer back to, also decreeing that the, quote, lack of political music right now compared to the 1960s. Oh my god. They went on to talk about Ferguson, protests, 9/11, chemtrails, and the Illuminati. The current state of the world, Corgan said, we have to see what's happening. If there are nefarious forces at work, nefarious, he is intellectual, he is a scribe, isn't he? If there are nefarious forces at work, they are willing to use our humanity against us. They don't care about people taking vaccines with horrible things in them. They don't care about autism rates. Wow. First of all, I'm not smart enough. And then they finally spoke about monuments to an elegy. Jones asked for the entitlement, and Corgan went in depth to say, I don't know, things just fall out of my head. And of course, Corgan was well aware of that soundbite of the soundbite nature of his talk, saying midway, literally everything I say is trolled for quotes. Damn right it is. Alex Jones. Oh my god. First of all, what's Anderson Cooper's problem? Why does he have a problem with Billy Corgan posing with cats? I mean, why does anybody have a problem with that? Who cares? He's not harming the cats. He's just posing with them. It's Catter Day. Everybody likes cats. Furthermore, fuck Anderson Cooper. If Dave Grohl posed with cats, you would fucking love it. And I feel Billy Corgan. He's sitting here like, dude, Dave Grohl is in the spot I'm supposed to be. What the fuck? That's what he's saying. He's saying, why is Dave Grohl where I should be? I don't know. I don't know. Speaking of Alex Jones, oh god. I'm in this Bill Hicks group on Facebook, and all the talk is Alex Jones, Bill Hicks, working for the CIA. That's more Illuminati stupidity. But in addition to being my birthday, it is Bill Hicks' birthday. And if you can do anything for me on my birthday, besides, sending me money, you should go to YouTube and type in Bill Hicks and watch 5 minutes of his stand-up. And just know what a philosopher he was. And just understand that every couple of years, there are some magical people that come along that open up people's minds and have messages, staying messages, and, and they all die. So just, when those good people are talking, when John Lennon's singing, when Martin Luther King's giving a speech, when Bill Hicks is doing stand-up, just listen. Listen, make note, because they're going to die soon. They're going to be killed by our government. We live in a world where good men are murdered and mediocrity and banality walk the earth. To quote the great outlaw comic. Okay. I gotta tell you, I don't want to go to work today. Work is gonna suck. But alright, I got to celebrate my birthday with you guys. That's fun. That's fun, right? We had a blast. Let's get back into the, I'll give you the list of websites you need to go to help keep me in business before I get up on out of here and go serve Italian food for a living. First of all, there's concertconfessions.com. That's for all your live music news and reviews. For the fans, by the fans. Join our family. And click the Amazon ads while you're there, because you're going to buy stuff anyway. Go to theandydeershow.com. Don't forget the for all your Deer Network podcast needs. Go to Hang the DJ, ChristinaRocks.com, 89xradio.com every Sunday morning. Tweet at her at Christina Rocks. Tell her I sent you, because it's fun. And every week, every year, the headlines will always be powered by Antiquiet. Guys, thanks for listening to me for another year. And I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Until then, need I remind you? Whiskey, weed, and Warren Zevon. late.
This has been the J Porks Experience. Thank you so much for listening.